Steve, what happened last time?
Okay, so we started off in the we were in the we escaped from that room. I'm trying to think, did we? Yeah, okay, so we had to escape from the creature that was coming, which turned out to be a death knight. So we found a little chute that went down to the bottom floor, and it brought us into a kitchen area just east of that main entrance room. So we evaded it for a little bit and eventually escaped it. But actually, no, sorry, we didn't escape it. We were just kind of keeping ahead of it, and then we went into the main room, and the Frankenbear thing was gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as we went in, it tried to ambush us, but we managed to escape it too. We go into that weapons room, that hallway, and those two start to fight. So now we've gotten rid of them, and we go in, and somehow there was a spell cast, so that the floor kind of did this ripple thing, and everybody flew up, but it killed our halfling friend. So we're kind of standing there. I'm like, Bashal's just like, well, I guess the goose is yours now, to the ghosts. And then the wizard woman, was it Apocalypse Anna, decides to betray everybody. She's like, haha, now I'm gonna kill you all and take it. And Bashal's like, again, you can have the goose. Like, I'm just gonna take my friend and go now. So there's this big drama being played out amongst those three, and I was like, what do you do? I'm like, well, I guess we just kind of go around them. So we get into this other room and get beyond them. Those two ghosts end up defeating Apocalypse Anna, and then they come in, and as we're in this dining hall area, we bump into two skeleton chefs and then a skeleton woman, and Shaw's just kind of like, all right. And then the woman comes up and starts talking to him, but there's no sound coming out. It's just a talking skeleton. And he's like, okay, I gotta go. And then that's when the other two ghosts walk into the room, and there's this bright flash. And then they realize, as they're starting to fade away, they're like, oh, right, we were dead the whole time. And Bashaw's just again, like, we just kind of want to go. So they're like, well, the goose is yours. Bashaw's like, again, don't want the goose. just want to leave. So suddenly the house like disappears, I think it was. And Bashaw's standing there with a dwarf, and then another character with the goose and the body of our halfling friend. Like, well, I guess we're gonna go back. And I've been trying to pawn the goose off to anybody since, but it just I'm cursed with this goose.
It's a real drug on the market, huh?
It really is. Nobody wants it. So now we've returned. Bashaw had to explain the dragon problem to to our dwarven friend and the new guy.
All right.
And I think that's about where we left off.
You brought the body of poor Dirk back to the Matham House curator, William. And he was like, all right, well, put him in a hole in the back. And then you dug a hole for him and did a grave for him. And but you did discover confirmation that, at least according to historical records, there is without a doubt a powerful magical sword and other magical items in the barrows where Sir Brandon was laid, because that's what Dirk was sent to get. And the documents were in the bag they were in the goose bag. And yeah, you have a goose. The fighter was upset that the holy site was being desecrated for a bunch of people like you to just sleep on the floor and then house a goose in it. But when you wake up the next day, you notice that the fighter and the dwarf are gone, and I'll start the day. What is the 20th of Reaping, which is something like a week in now of your time here in the environs of Brandonsford, and I'll describe what's in Brandonsford again, so you can choose whatever you want to do, and make plans. But before we do that, Edward, you have a, and by the way, you all were on autopilot, but you all were there for all this. Your characters were.
Okay.
And Edward, last night in your sleep, you had a very strange dream. I don't know if you remember making a deal with some robed figures in the tower, in case you were to die in the Lost City or not.
Lunar eclipse from the moon.
Deal with robed figures?
Yeah, I remember we had a deal where basically if you died, you could be resurrected by these people, but it was a deal with them, like they would ask for things in return.
I was actually not there for that. You could say my character was there, but I was not there for that. Either not there for that session or not in the tower when that deal was made. I think I remember you asking me that before. Did you have character insurance?
I have I have
Yeah,
something. Yeah, I have something where let's see here. I have that either you died in the Lost City and were resurrected. I think that's actually what I have here in the notes.
I did do that. That did happen. Yes. So does that mean that I have the deal, or is that my one use of it?
I think, I think you would have to. Well, that's the only resurrection in the game. It was back in Perrinville City. They had the means, they had the technology, but it comes at a cost. And in your dreams, you discover that cost as a somewhat chubby for an elf, short, human-like woman, but with elven ears, in a dress, approaches you in your dreams. And then very curtly says, "Where's my money?"
Your money?
Yeah, we had a deal. It's time. I don't go late on deals. It's your payment's up. Let's go.
Madam, I have no idea what you're talking about.
And then, how much money do you have?
I have no money. I've never had any money.
She says,
I spent on some equipment, I think maybe even like first session or something, but and then everybody agreed it'd be good to get me an instrument. And so that's it.
Well, this won't do. If I just let everyone off the hook when they owe their payments, then no one's going to pay me back. And I'm
well. Let me sing for my supper. Will you take a song and trade?
That actually might work. Let me give me a moment. And then she pulls all these books around her, and books start to open and they start to scribe automatically. And she says, "I'll give you one chance at this if this is valuable enough. This needs to be 100 gold piece song, by the way." And she starts getting ready to describe whatever you're about to sing.
Well then, a tale from my homeland. All right, and then I'm going to sing some sort of ballad of love and adventure, doomed love and adventure in the midst of the Wars of the Roses.
Nice. If you have a class feature that would allow you, you have the charm the audience type of thing where I could save versus magic.
I do. Yes, I do.
Think I'll do that then.
So up to 2 HD of creatures per level. I'm level 2. I can choose a specific individual.
Are fairies immune now?
It doesn't say they are here. It might say they are under the description of a fairy.
No, it's okay. So long as and this isn't considered charming someone. It doesn't say as a charm.
It starts with fascination.
Okay.
and then it can go on from there if the person keeps listening. Okay, so it just is what it is. Each subject must save versus spells or be fascinated.
All
And then
right.
it describes fascination if it works. We'll talk about that, I guess.
Sadly, she does save versus spells.
Well, that is sad.
And
Well, it's a heck of a song anyway.
she's like, I'll take some off, but you owe me money. So look, I know that this is new to you and you don't understand how this works probably, but the next time that I come in 7 days, you'll owe me 175 gold pieces, and if you don't have it,
Well, how much do I owe now?
it's 100 gold pieces a week for a total of 3,000 gold pieces.
3,000. Thank you very much. Yes.
See you next week, and then you wake up and you're in Brandon's house in Brandonsford.
3,000.
Resurrection is no small thing. And is everyone eaten or has food?
I guess we can go to the tavern there and
Yeah.
them for.
You're gonna keep being patrons of one of the
Yeah.
two taverns. Okay, as long as you do that sometime before we end the session, then you won't have any negative side effects for the next session. And then, did you eat last time?
Really feel like this is where we're headed.
Sure, I don't know.
I mean, we bought rations. I remember making a point of buying rations before we left. So I don't know what else to say beyond that.
Yeah. No, if you
I
get
got
so, then
rations.
you guys would just mark off a ration from yesterday, and then everybody's got 10 items or less, right? So
Not, and you said before you're no longer counting.
worn things like pouches and backpacks and swords and chainmail, whatever.
Totally adopting that for future games.
Yeah, I've seen it in a couple lately. Okay. All right, so you're in the Shire of Brandonsford as the cock crows in the next morning on the 7th day, and the sun's beginning to rise. And it's a lazy day as the hobbits have had a terrible fall festival, which seems to have come to an end for them. And as a reminder, the things in the town, you have 2 taverns, the Clumsy Fox, the Golden Egg, the General Store of Cedric, the Shire Reeve Town Hall, headed by Eric and the Bounders, the Townsmith Warwick, who you've spoken to before, your friend George Bilberry the Hunter, who is the last hunter of Brandonsford, the Matham House Curator William, and his last remaining servant Nob Boulderhill, who idolizes you. You are 1 good act away from a change in reaction for anything that you try to do with anyone in Brandonsford. Ingrid the Apothecary, Farmer Gill, Allura and Gamwich, and who have Seamus the Mule on the edge of town. And that is what you know about the town of the Shire of Brandonsford. There's also a huge number of different shops and professions. And apart from that, the day is ahead of you to try to pursue whatever you want as well.
We need to make real progress on this, on our main goal here. So we need to either go to the Barrow, or we need to go to the woods for this, whatever it was, the berry or something.
Yeah, like the wine sap or something that might be able to put it to sleep, dragon to sleep or something.
Yeah, we need the sap and we need the sword.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but definitely want both if we can help it before we
Yeah.
hunt this dragon down.
I mean, I'm gonna vote for the barrow myself because we've been trying for that, and by God, we're gonna do it.
And
Third
we
time's the
have
charm.
some actionable information on it, at least now. Now we know that it's got magic stuff, and so rat bite will kind of like we at least know there's while wine stuff is good, it's like from a bush or something, and it'll put us
Well,
to
it's
sleep.
not. It's not that it's not important. It's just that
Yes.
I'm. In addition, I've been informed by a fat elf who visited me in my dreams that I now owe 3,000 gold pieces.
Bashaw just kind of glances over.
Rat bite is like, what? Oh, okay.
For resurrection services.
Mildred's also awake now, and you hear her squawking inside.
Mildred.
Is that the goose?
Yeah.
Shaw pulls out some eggs. How many are these?
Oh yeah, you have golden eggs. You have.
Yeah, I mean,
Can we have them made into gold pieces?
Not. Well, you could try to do that. I can look at the professions. I'm assuming the blacksmith could do that, but maybe it's another profession.
will your dream elf take eggs in golden egg form? I mean, it seems like that's worth some good cash, right?
Well, that's an excellent point. Maybe
Yeah.
leave the minting to her.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I got.
I mean, hey,
it's still a
listen,
golden egg, that's pretty good, right?
I understand. I've been kind of freeloading. You guys have been very generous since I came along, but hopefully I'll be good for it. My contributions will add up.
You find that Mildred has laid 4 golden eggs worth 10 gold pieces each.
Well, only 10 each. Okay.
Hey, well, we might as well hoard those while we're in Brandonsford to where we get somewhere where they appreciate some good solid gold instead of silver. We'll have it ready, right?
Well, the blacksmith, he operates in gold.
Good to know.
Yeah. Of course, that's who we bought the iron daggers from.
Right, got a cold iron dagger. Yeah.
And he's also who has the suit of mithril chain that he's promised to me if we find out what happened to his dwarven friends. Is that it, right? The people who used to visit him? That's another target. We can try to find that doggone dwarven camp. We still didn't... That was supposed to be on the other side of the river?
Yeah, and I think we did catch sight of something that might have been that camp, too.
I feel like that might have even been on the way to the barrow. Or at
So I was
least...
wondering, it's kind of in the way, maybe?
Maybe. Anyway.
We just have to cross further down.
All right. Now, do I have that correct?
About the dwarves? Oh, you tell me. But
Okay.
yeah, but
I'm
yeah,
going to go and...
yeah.
Let's go visit Warwick again and double check. If I have to double check.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, so when you...
Yeah, what were the conditions under which I get this suit of armor?
Yeah, stopping back by Warwick, he gruffly greets you and he says that basically the crux of his issue is that he has no metal, and all of his business and his ability to support the Shire depended on trade with dwarves from the outside. No dwarves have come. He knows that they have a camp in the woods, and that somewhere he wants you to figure out what happened to them, but also if you could find their mine and bring back metal, he'll give you a sack of 200 silver pieces and the mithril chain.
Okay, so let's head for that then.
And
Shall
apparently
we?
the person in town who would probably shape the gold eggs would be the whitesmith. That's what I'm gathering.
Whitesmith would be a tinsmith.
Oh, not...
So you've got goldsmith, silversmith, whitesmith is a tinsmith, blacksmith, iron.
Probably don't have a goldsmith in town. Yeah.
No,
probably not here. They would need a... I won't start talking about metal. I like metal.
That's your thing, yeah. Yeah. All right. So
Strike the earth.
So yeah, we're gonna go hunting dwarves.
Yeah, let's go hunt down some dwarves.
So, because do we have it? So, yeah, so dwarves, barrow, wine sap or something.
Yeah. Just because dwarves means, it'll mean, first of all, that'll mean one more good deed. I mean, I don't know,
True.
for the town, which is always a good thing, and it'll also mean that I'll have some armor again, which is really good for everybody when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, before we go facing a dragon, magic swords, good armor. Yeah, I think both make sense.
All right, and Edward, you can move the token basically, but as usual, leaving the town gates, you find that the bounders at the gates are lazily and barely even paying attention, probably playing a game inside of the gates.
Okay, now he just said in the woods. That's all he knows.
Where you mean where the dwarven camp is?
Yeah.
In the woods to the north on the other side of the river.
Okay.
what
So
it is.
okay, good. All right. So where can we? Is that the ford or bridge across the river? That black line over there?
From
That was
from where you currently are, you see forests around you, and then you can see the river off in the distance. Okay. Let's see. Actually, do something. Aha.
what you rolling twice there about?
Yeah, several things happen. Bashar, you can roll a d6.
Right. Two.
2. Okay. All right. You start heading into the woods. That's where the direction I see you headed into the woods, and in a path in the woods, you can hear some 100, 200 feet away ahead of you in the woods somewhere. Some people, some creatures in a tongue you don't recognize, arguing back and forth and dragging something through the woods.
Oh, brother.
Let's go around.
Can I make a lore roll on that tongue that I don't know?
Yeah. If you don't speak any weird languages, although did you guys pick your languages based on your intelligence?
Well, it's not so much that I want to expect to understand it,
Sure.
but rather to see what kind of a language it is. Is it fairy language? Is it goblin language?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've got to find a D6 all of a sudden. There we
And
go.
everybody can make a listen check as if listening at a door on a D6.
Fail.
Okay.
Okay.
And you guys
2
can make
and
this
6
check.
chance.
Nothing.
Remember.
Yep. I did not make my roll.
Okay. See if Lane gets the listen check. Yeah, and also Edward, you can make a listen check as well.
Hey, 2 out of 6 chance. 1. That's a success, right?
Nice.
I rolled a 2 if that was a D6 roll
Yeah.
for the listen check.
Great. Okay. You hear that it's some language you don't understand. You can't see the figures, but they are dragging a wheeled thing. It's a cart that's heavily laden with something. In an animal track path somewhere ahead.
But we can see that it's a cart, but we can't see what kind of creatures they are yet.
You can hear and tell that it's a cart and that there's some kind of creature dragging it through an animal path. You could also, try to...
Yeah, let's stealth forward and see what happens.
Yeah, let's try some move silently, maybe to see if I can get close enough.
Is everybody
get a
going to
peek
try
in?
to do it, or is it, or just one person? Or
I think maybe who has the best chance? I probably
got a
don't.
thief.
Yeah,
I don't
I think
know.
I'm no longer wearing heavy armor. I don't know if that makes a difference anymore.
I don't.
that's Rat Bite's time to shine.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not really. I feel bad because like I am the thief. That's what I'm there for. But
No.
move silently is still only a 25% chance of success. So.
Well, as always, two different things. You can do a dexterity attribute check and the move silently check. And actually, I will do it. Come to think of it,
Yeah,
I
that's
remembered
right.
this time. Finally, I always forget that.
If I had just been around for last session, I would have leveled up. I'd have a 30% chance.
What's the percent chance that I need?
Well, let's see, move silently is 25. Hide in shadows is only a 10. So I don't know. But hide in shadows is me holding still and not moving. Move
Okay.
silently, I assume, would be more sneaking up on somebody.
So you start moving forward in the woods, and let's see here. Let's do something like that.
So the fact that you didn't ask what my dexterity is makes me scared. 13, if that matters.
I'll pick some thick forests here that have some ruins in them, and starting with Ben. Ben, you try to sneak forward to get a look over here, and you're looking over into these ruins, and you do see several creatures. And they're dragging a cart. Let's see, make it brown. There we go. And you hear them like to each other, but then you are surprised as two of them point spears at you from either side as you're detected, but they don't just attack you outright. Instead, they point their spears like, and then the other goblins, they see that you're there, and they quickly try to drag this thing faster. They're not being successful at dragging off whatever they are trying to drag off.
So I recognize them as goblins, I think. That's what it sounds like.
You have probably seen a goblin, I assume, from Moonthorn.
Yeah, there are plenty of goblins, but they are
No
definitely
guns,
Yeah,
though.
they're more
There's
like
no guns on these goblins.
right. Goblins, I recognize the features, but I'm used to more civilized goblins who might, be more, less feral, or whatever.
Well, they're horrid little beasts, as far as I'm concerned.
One of them actually comes forward after seeing you, Ben, and with the two are still pointing spears at you, and speaking in common says, "Stand aside in the name of the Goblin King."
I'll stand over here, and
There's
whichever
two
name you
goblins.
need, friend. All right.
6 of them. Okay. What does everybody else do?
Are they just kind of leaving him alone?
Yeah, basically, it seems like their goal is to try to get out of here with whatever they have in the wagon without you interfering.
What's in the wagon?
Do you move up and try to see?
No, I yell out, "What's in the wagon?"
I mean, I couldn't see from my vantage what's in the wagon, I guess.
From where you are, what you can tell, you can't see over into what's in the wagon, but from where you're at, you can tell that the wagon is heavy and sinking into the earth under weight.
Yeah, I think metal.
Um,
Maybe.
Or stone?
The one speaking in common replies to Edward and says, "If you do not comply, we will attack and defend His Majesty's goods with our lives." And the other
Well,
the other goblins look at each other nervously.
What are the goods?
No, we're not going to tell you, human. And then like the other goblins start to argue with each other.
Hey, listen. Let's
Bischoff
all
shout-
calm. Let's all calm. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Bischoff shouts, "Do you want help moving that?"
Actually, that's interesting.
And
The two goblins.
services. No, go ahead.
Yeah, no. They start chattering among each other and shrugging, and then the one in common's like, "No, humans. Humans are not. You don't answer to the Goblin King. You do not serve the Goblin King."
I thought I was standing over here in its service, but I could help with the cart in the name of the Goblin King. Is that what you told me to do?
One of the goblins lowers their spear next to you and then turns to the one speaking in common and is like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." And the one speaking in common is like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." Pointing like, they're humans.
Can I make a roll on the Goblin King?
No, there's no way that you would have ever heard of what that is. Yeah. Well, I'll make
Not
a deal
in-
with you. I'll make a deal. You don't need to roll.
In
for it.
Earth, in Dark Albion, I think there's goblins in Dark Albion.
Oh,
so
sure.
I don't know.
If there is an English poem that you know of or literature in which there is specifically a Goblin King, then you've heard of that.
I'd be lying if I said I knew that for sure, as a person.
Yeah.
But I know there is in like Macaulay and stuff. That's like 100 years or 150 years after.
Yeah.
Is it Macaulay? Who am I thinking of? Anyway. Nope. Can't say as I could guarantee that.
Thou dost bring us to mind the infant. Which infant? The infant.
The babe. The babe. Yes. You're talking about the infant. Okay. Well, but nonetheless, I would like to strike up a solemn yet merry tune about the Goblin King.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Like that movie.
And
I'll start dancing.
Yes.
and
Oh, they fail.
all right, great. So in that case, they are rapt. Their attention is fully bent on the bard's performance as long as it continues. Follow. They may walk while playing. The bard may walk while playing. Fascinated subjects will follow. Interruptions. If the performance is interrupted by a loud noise or violence, the fascination ends immediately. If the bard performs for at least one turn, which is 10 minutes, I believe, and the performance ends without interruption. 1 second. Say goodnight to my son.
That's okay. I'm gonna put on your song. Obviously, there's only one option for this.
Red Bite will definitely see if he sees it. He's gonna start dancing over to look in that wagon.
So it says if I perform for at least a turn and it ends without interruption, fascinated subjects may be placed under deeper charm. Each subject must make another save versus spells with a +2 bonus or be charmed for 1 turn per level of the bard.
Most importantly, like, what are you? So they're following you and dancing. Where are you trying to take them, and what's your goal?
Well, I gotta turn the volume down.
You right click on it. That's how you do that. Okay. So what is your intention? Where are you trying to take the goblins? Like that's the.
I'm having difficulty actually turning the volume.
Oh, right click on him.
Which right click on what?
Right
bard
click on the
at the
bard.
bottom?
Yeah.
I can't find it.
What? Okay. Oh, you could also right click on it and then it's in the video. You have to go to the video chat where all of us are displayed and right click on the bard. It's a blue smiling face.
Now I see. I'm sorry. I thought it was within.
I refuse
thought it was.
to turn it off.
No, that's fine.
I've been waiting for this moment.
Nor should you.
Of course.
So okay. Well, first of all, what are they carrying? That's the first thing.
Yes. So you're able to see
I'm
that.
incorporating into the lyrics and then into the performance a flourishing reveal of what's in the cart.
They have 200 gold pieces worth of all of the what look like stolen trade goods. Clearly, the things they found from the dwarves. Various trade goods and metals worth 200 gold pieces.
Okay. Great. Let's wait. So taken from the dwarves, you said?
I mean, yeah, that it's obvious, looking at it. These are not. This was not made by goblins.
Okay. Well then, let's begin going back the way they were coming.
You're gonna go with them to the Goblin King.
No. Back the way they came.
Why
Okay.
not just have them dance to Brandonsford?
Because well, that's a good point. But
Damn.
If we can get to the safety of numbers, like when in the I don't know, 6
When you-
goblins versus a whole village of halflings.
when you say trade goods, what are we talking about?
I would say like bushels of wheat, probably things that could be used.
Is there metal? Is there metal in there? You said it was heavy.
Yes, there's metal.
Oh, hey. So this would actually fulfill Warwick's requirement. This shipment right here.
It sounds like, if Dwarven Camp may have been raided by goblins, even if they're not the ones who caused the dwarves to.
Yeah, they may have just come on the aftermath of something. Either way, we do need it. Let's get this to Brandonsford. I like that idea.
So I'm gonna reduce the mechanic for your spell basically just to one aspect that's going on here, and that's the one goblin who's like speaking in common and trying to get everybody to stop dancing, and he gets a nat 20 and passes, and he's like, no, for the Goblin King, no, and everybody else is dancing. All of his people are dancing and stuff, and you've got them kind of like pulling the cart towards Brandonsford, and he's going to try to take a spear, and he's going to try to attack one of his own people.
Oh my goodness. Can we intercept that attack?
Rat bite, take him out.
Is your
Backstab? I don't know if I want to. That seems like that. Well, we'll see how.
Can you do it without them noticing?
That's the hard part. Yeah.
No, yeah, I think it'd be pretty obvious. Is the goal to kill him, to try to subdue him, or what do you all want to try to do?
I mean, intercept him if we can. Just
tackle him and stop him.
Yeah,
from trying to
tackle
kill
him
the
and
person.
then
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
as
let's
long
just
as-
reduce that to just a dexterity check versus who. Oh, you just got to beat a 3. Whoever's, I think it's.
yeah.
Check what a goblin has.
Shaw's not close enough to be.
I mean, I was probably Rat Bite was probably the closest up there, wasn't he? Since he's the one at spear point.
Yeah, I think so.
So I don't know.
Shaw's got his bow
Oh, there
ready.
he
Look at that.
All right, you tackle him, and he squeals. He's like, "No, you don't understand. The Goblin King. It's for him. It's for him." Ah.
Just put a sack, grab a burlap sack.
You have the goose sack because you.
There we go.
Put him in the goose sack.
Put him in the goose sack.
All right, you have.
And
the-
tie it up and toss it on the cart.
So how
What?
long? So just in short, briefly, how long does your spell last? Like, would it make
Last
it?
is- So first of all, are they going to make their second save versus spell to not be charmed now
Okay,
for 1 turn per level of the bard?
19. Let me. I have the goblin thing right here, but I'll use that for. So there are 5 other ones, and it's save versus spell. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Fail, and fail.
Okay.
So I think.
So
one
basically,
of them
now this
passed.
is gonna here. So here's the deal. That's the end of the performance. So I'm gonna keep performing on the road back to Brandonsford. And then at the end of the performance, that's when that charm will take effect. And they can just be led to a prison cell or something. I don't know. Somebody there can decide what should be done with them, I guess. But nonetheless, deliver the medal to. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, yeah,
That's the plan.
Tell me the plan. Yeah,
Deliver the medal to Warwick, and deliver the rest to the people of Brandonsford. To maybe the Shire Reeve or something, or whoever it is that is going to benefit from like getting the big shipment that maybe they've been waiting on. Or
So I'm picturing him playing the lute. They're all hopping around him, and then me and Ratbite just kind of dragging this thing.
Yeah.
With,
Yeah,
like, these grins.
Exactly. They're dancing around the cart and everything. He's strumming the lute as you go and everything.
That one guy.
When you make
so
it
charmed.
Be quiet.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, please. Please stop.
Well, it would also mean that there would be. Sorry, so they don't share my language, so they can't actually obey my commands unless any of the rest of them understand common.
No, you would have to use you'd have to convince your interpreter to do it. Otherwise, they're just enthralled up until the gates.
Well, and now it says they consider me a trusted friend and ally, and they'll come to my defense. But they won't. That means they'll just be standing around like smiling at me, and waiting,
All right.
But yeah, so that's that.
I don't know if they actually. Let me check to see if they have a jail. I know that sounds weird, but there's a couple of weird things about these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put them in the mayor's office.
Oh, they
take
don't.
away their.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Take away their spears and send them back with their cart, or maybe keep the cart and just send them on their way.
Yeah, if you ask someone at the gate, first of all, they're obviously surprised to see all these goblins. But when you ask, the thing is, no hobbit has ever been known to harm or kill another hobbit before. It's never happened. The bounders would just give someone a good stern talking to, probably. In most cases. There is one paid position that causes some chaos, but I don't think... Yeah, so basically, I think your only option would be to install a door, which is long overdue, and keep them in your house, too, with the goose. But...
Yeah, I don't...
Just building a
Nice
collection.
menagerie going here.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of letting them go, though.
It's
'cause
also...
if we release these goblins back, they're just going to bring more goblins to the... then they've got a beef with the village, and we don't want the Goblin King going, hey, the halflings are stealing from us.
Well, one goblin made it out anyway, I think. No, you caught him. I'm sorry. There were six goblins.
We stuffed him in the goose bag. Right?
Yeah, you got him in the goose bag.
Poor guy.
Okay. So, I mean, you could tell them to construct something over a period of a day to try to pin them in, but that's going to take half of your day. That's what I'm going to say.
Here's what's probably a better option is if we're talking about the overall plan and we haven't actually arrived yet, we could just put bags over all their heads. Once we get
break the charm or anything like that.
Their party hats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. He who makes it to our destination with the least stubbed toes will win a golden egg.
They go, ooh. Do you all have bags and sacks? I guess you have your backpacks.
Yeah.
And you have a cart, so
yeah.
Two
Got
of you
three small sacks in the at the house.
You can keep singing, and you can take your backpacks and you can put it over their heads, and it might take some improvisation.
Yeah, and then they won't know the route precisely, hopefully, and maybe they won't be paying attention to it because they'll be listening to my song, most of them.
You could also just let them go if that were the case.
That's true.
Give them a
guy in
golden
the
egg.
bag. Ratbite is just going to be, I'm really sorry about this, man. You left us no choice.
The one that
He
speaks common. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Goblin King forever. He will know. He wiggles
Oh,
around.
I wish you
inside.
hadn't said that, because you seem like a good goblin and all, but yeah.
Shaw pulls out a golden egg. And it's kind of goes, "Do you want this?"
To who?
To the goblin that speaks common.
Oh, he's stuffed in a sack.
Oh right, okay. His head's still in there. Okay.
Even if he did, he would be like,
I had
he
this.
would be like, no, I've been told by the Goblin King to get these supplies. I cannot fail.
Hold on. How does the Goblin King know that these supplies were there?
And what can you tell us about this Goblin King?
No. The Goblin
said-
King is wise. He's united the Goblin tribes.
Oh boy.
Okay, I mean,
Well, he does sound wise and powerful.
Yes,
You know
yes,
what?
yes.
Maybe maybe we could ally with the goblin tribes here. 'Cause there's a lot going on, and maybe if everybody's kind of on board with the whole dragon stopping
yeah.
business.
So, I mean, has the Goblin King got any problems? Has the dragon been bothering you guys?
Dragon? Oh,
Yeah,
dragon. You wish to supplicate to the Goblin King?
Oh, wait a second.
I'm not
Hang
saying
on.
no. Does he need some help with the dragon?
I gotta go back in our notes here. Wait a second.
The dragon is the Goblin King.
Oh, hang on. Halflings from Brandsonford, Knob's name. There's a goblin problem. They don't like big people. Big people have been holding the goblins off. I think the goblins are under the dragon, if I remember correctly.
So, so dragon's been bossing around your Goblin King, just trying to get a rise out of the goblins. Like,
The dragon, that creature, the folly of the dwarves is no match for the Goblin King. The Goblin King would outsmart the dwarven foolishness.
so the dwarves brought the dragon, and your goblins are smart enough to stay away from that. Because with your wise leader, the Goblin King is not getting into that dwarf business with the dragon. Is that what I'm understanding?
We will prevail against the dwarf magic.
The
Dwarf
dwarves
magic?
brought about the dragon.
Yes.
Is
Right,
this what
yeah.
your wise king told you?
Yes. If you were wise, you would also kneel before the Goblin King.
Knob did tell us that there is a problem with the goblins going on too. Remember? They chased us at the very beginning.
Yeah, we kind of had some.
Oh, we don't like goblins, but we like 5 out of 6 goblins.
So yeah, so far you managed to avoid the dragon that the dwarves brought on you. Is that what it? Trying. I don't know,
Yes,
does that
the
sound like very
Goblin
wise?
King. I mean, he's not that smart. I mean,
Yeah. I'm just trying
it's not really a real great conversation, actually.
I'm
It's
thinking,
more info than we had. So.
yeah, because we've got 5 friendly goblins, and then we got this guy, and the goblins are causing a whole lot of trouble for the halflings. So Bashaw's thinking if we bring this guy behind a shed somewhere, and then tell the other goblins, hey, yeah, go back to the Goblin King and tell him everything's fine over here. What happened to the
We
stuff?
can't
Oh,
talk to
don't
these
worry.
goblins without this other guy that we don't trust.
Right, yeah. Does anybody... Shaw's gonna go see if anybody can speak Goblin.
In the town?
Yeah. Maybe William or Knob
Or
might
George.
tell us. Oh, George might.
Or the old witch.
Which?
The witch.
Well,
I bet the witch would know what to do with the goblin.
the witch is kind of she's a ways off into
Yes.
the woods there,
She
which
was
you could.
east of town, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's a walk through fairyland. Never mind.
Horrible place.
Yes.
I mean, you don't know if someone speaks Goblin though, and you're currently in the woods with a bunch of goblins that are probably still singing and dancing. You know, this is where you currently are, right?
Mhm.
And then, and then you've got this other goblin in the sack.
I guess make our way back to the village and just kind of take it from there.
Yeah, we
That
should give
sounds-
them a heads up before we just walk out into plain sight with a bunch of goblins with us. Maybe, give them forewarning.
All right. So let me make sure I understand the plan. You're going to, because they all consider Edward their friend, they're going to just follow him around, even though they can't speak his language. But someone's going to go ahead and work this out with Eric so that you don't just get attacked on sight with a small goblin army. And then you're going to regroup in town.
And I think then we just, like, when do we let them go?
I think once we can find somebody who speaks, if we can find somebody who speaks Goblin, then we can send them back.
Yes.
Whereas the other guy has an unfortunate accident. But if we can't, I don't know what Plan B is.
Yeah, my fear is if we send goblins back after taking them to the halfling village, then we basically told the news to the goblins at large is halflings are stealing and killing goblins. Let's kill them all. That's what I'm afraid of. If we take a bunch of goblins back to the town and then release them back into the wild, does that mean we bring down a goblin army on Brandonsford?
Let's ask the mayor what he wants to do with them.
Here's the thing. I can't lie about the mechanics here. I don't have forever. I've got as many turns as I've got level. Is it 2 turns per level?
Oh yeah.
Oh, turns.
Okay.
So this is after the charm takes effect, right? I can keep playing and they'll stay wrapped, but if it says if the bard performs for at least 1 turn and the performance ends without interruption, fascinated subjects may be placed under a deeper charm, which is what we've already rolled for. And that's at that point they consider me a trusted friend and etc. Well, hold on a second. It actually doesn't. It doesn't say that the effect ends. I don't know what I was looking at before.
Well, it's okay. I don't think we need to.
Oh no, yeah, charmed for 1 turn per level. So they would only be, it would be 20 minutes. Once the performance ends, and I can't keep singing forever and ever. So
Yeah, you
think,
basically have right until after you get to Brandon's. That's kind of when this would wear off.
yeah.
If you head straight there.
Okay, well let's just get it done, and
Yep.
we're gonna have to wing it.
And
Let's
if we
make
have
sure
to kill some goblins when they start running. I guess I'll be ready just in case.
Yeah,
well, let's-
Bashaw's pretty okay with just kind of.
as soon as the charm takes effect, we'll take their spears.
Okay, I would imagine you probably have worked to disarm them. That's probably not that hard under the current conditions. So,
Okay.
all right, so you make it back to Brandonsford. Someone goes ahead to get Eric's attention. Eric comes out to meet you at the gates with a number of bounders. And is like, "What are you doing? You can't come in here with a bunch of goblins. Oh my gosh, the certification process for goblins. This is terrible. Oh, what a terrible day."
There's a certification process for goblins.
Well, it's not been used in some time.
But you have that as a provision.
Of course.
So you used to have goblin members of your community?
Oh no, we're just very thorough. But never mind that. Look, it's just it would be terribly painful to try to go through that. Oh, and the other societies, they're going to be. They'll fire me for sure if I just let goblins into the town. This is not acceptable at all. We can't have goblins coming into Brandonsford.
So does anybody speak Goblin in town that we know of?
You ask Eric that?
Yeah.
No. I mean, you could try to
Nobody?
ask William, but have you spoke to William?
That's a good point. Well, if he's asleep, Bashaw can. Well, no, Bashaw's not strong enough. I was gonna say I could just go kind of carry him over here in his chair, but
William. Meanwhile,
Happy wake
the
up.
goblin in the sack is like, the Goblin King, oh, the Goblin King, and just keeps talking about the Goblin King.
Do we have to murder some goblins?
I think we gotta murder some goblins.
I mean, I'm sorry, I can do it. He's like taking the dog out.
Bashaw takes the bushel of spears and just starts handing them to the
We got him in a bag.
the guys.
Dagger and a hatchet. Let's do this where it's too much paperwork. We'll take him to the woods, I guess.
Too much paperwork.
It's got dark real quick.
I'm like, I don't like this anymore.
I understand though. Like I don't blame you. Like I definitely.
They are
I'm
ostensibly evil creatures, but
That's not how I wanted this to go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough spot because like if you're trying to make it to the witch, you have to make it through the woods. If you let them go, you're concerned that they're going to report back about Brandonsford. My question is, why not just take them back to the woods? Why did you bring them to Brandonsford in the first place if you were...
I was under the impression we would need their help moving this doggone cart the whole way.
No, let's roll back. You're fine with the cart. You don't need to do that. Yeah,
Okay, well in that case, thank you very much, gentlemen. Enjoy let's hand them a couple of golden eggs if you've got them on you, and send them on their
Keep
way.
those eggs. They don't
Oh
need
well,
no
I don't know.
eggs.
I'm just the point is, it's like we met these lovely guys in the woods, and we'll communicate by hand signals once they're charmed to stay where they're at.
One egg as a token of our appreciation to the Goblin King.
Yeah.
Because this is and trying to convince the guy in the bag. This is more valuable than any cart. Let's really talk up how wondrous this egg is. We don't tell them that we have a way to get more of these eggs.
They don't understand you, but they're obviously enthralled and they love everything you're doing right now.
Yeah.
The other guy, maybe we can just.
The guy in the cart, like I'll be talking where at least he can hear me. Is like, yeah, I guess. So if we leave him in his friends and take his stuff and go, we weren't completely, faithless to the Goblin King here.
But here's the other part.
The most magnificent egg in all creation. It's gold.
The performance will end, and we'll have 20 minutes to get as gone as we can with this cart before they start running after us.
Time to a tree.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Okay, yes. All right, so they keep dancing in the woods, and you make it back to Brandsford dragging a cart. It does take most of 20 minutes, but you leave the tree line behind, and you make it back to the gates with a cart. And the bounders are like, "What do you got there?"
Problem.
We still need to investigate.
You still have
answer to
the
that.
goblin in the goose sack, or did you let?
No. We'll leave him tied up in the sack.
Just leave him back.
I contemplated maybe tossing him in the river, but that seems cruel.
Yeah, I mean, it's like still not a bad idea.
It's not. This might bite us.
bad.
I
But
mean,
honestly,
if it helps, I don't mean to ruin this, but there's no reason to darken our experience here. It's very unlikely that they're not aware of where Brandonsford is. It's an acre-wide giant stone structure. They probably are quite well aware where Brandonsford is.
which is something that I sort of was thinking also. But also, unless we kill all of them, which I guess we could, it's like, they're they're all gonna know. What happened to our goblin quote unquote raiding party? Like, well, they're all
Yeah.
dead in the woods and they didn't come back. Anyway, all right. So good.
Big people.
So yeah, what we have here appears to be at least some of the what used to belong to the dwarves. We liberated it from some goblin thieves.
Oh, wow, that's quite something. And you all, in any interaction in Brandonsford, can now add +1 for your reaction on top of any charisma mod,
Great.
as your notoriety in Brandonsford has increased.
I'm gonna deliver this whatever metal there is in here, whatever ingots, straight to Warwick.
When you go to Warwick, he's like, you found the medal of the dwarves. Oh,
Well, to be honest, the goblins found it, and we found the goblins.
incredible. Well, I think that's pretty clear then what happened to my dwarven friends. It's those goblins.
Well, we actually haven't been to their camp yet. We came across the goblins in the woods with this cart. Still have yet to go and investigate, but we figured we'd come back with the cart first.
He looks over into this stuff and he says, yes, but it's clear this is dwarven make. It's... the goblins had to have killed him. Woods overrun with the creatures.
Good chance. The goblins seem to think the dwarves are responsible for the dragon. Which
You say that in front
goblin
of Warwick?
gibberish.
Do you say that to Warwick? Or did you say that out loud? You're just musing?
I just say that out loud,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud.
Warwick's like, if you find one of those creatures that can speak our language, they'll lie to you. They're all about trickery and deceit, murder. Well, anyways, a deal's a deal. It's clear the goblins killed the dwarves. Now, it's not clear to you, but this is what Warwick's thinking and saying.
If that's what he thinks, and it gives us the stuff, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and
Everybody
he
wins.
says, yeah, and he says, and this is the medal from their mine, so at least to keep us going for a couple of weeks here, for some things that are needed around town. It's still a dark day, but a deal is a deal. And he goes in and gets you a sack of 200 silver pennies. And then he brings out the shining mithril chain. And he hands it to Edward, and he says, you know, it was said my grandfather used this. Not every one of us is... some of us are a bit more, how should I say, less Voknar than others. Some are, they say, more Dolkeen or Altwin. And my grandfather was such a hobbit. He was thought less of in his time, but I think sometimes we need hobbits like that. And, well, it's yours now. It was awfully big on him. And you find that mithril chain fits you and is, you gain here are the following benefits you gain from your mithril chain. It is chain +1, so you gain the armor class benefits of chainmail, plus another +1. You take half damage from magic weapons and spells. And it is the
Wait,
weight
half damage from non-magic weapons, or
from magic weapons and spells.
oh,
Basically from magic attacks of some sort. And then you also, being mithril chain, it is as light as leather armor, so you're not encumbered as if wearing chain.
right. What is Gotta put my armor on here. I'll hand you your leather armor back there, Ben. Or was it, who was it, Bashaw or
Yeah.
Bannock?
Yeah, with the Shaw's. He'll go put it in the house there. I'm kind of enjoying the speed.
right? And with the goose.
Yeah.
And,
Here, Mildred, watch this for me.
of course she will.
Now, what is the AC on that? Is that 16?
For chain. Uh,
14.
14. Okay, so this would be instead 15.
Not bad.
And if you take the cart, eventually, I mean, Eric finds out and comes with bounders. And what do you want to do with the trade goods? Eric just immediately assumes, he's like, "Oh goodness, thank goodness that you found this. The harvest festival was a complete failure this year, and this will help us a lot."
Yes. Well, then God bless you, and Brandon watch over you.
Oh, I don't know about all that, but I'm very grateful for this. And he tells the bounders to haul it off. So, yeah, that's actually another one. So you get +1 reaction, but in this session, +2 reputation. So that will have moved you. I can't remember at this point what it is. I'll look at the chart later.
How do I change my AC in the character sheet?
That's weird.
Oh, never mind. I clicked it and equipped it.
Oh.
That's probably what. Yeah, that did it.
Interesting, yeah. Oh, yeah, neat. Yeah, the cool thing about inventory is you can drag and drop items. Like you can take this item and drag it out and drop it, just like in Windows or something. It's kind of neat. Okay, so all right. What now? You still have most of the day ahead of you.
Well, shall we go finish off those goblins?
Do we still want to investigate the dwarves, or we're like, we got what we're going there for? So,
I
Well,
think we're good there. Head to the barrows, and if we happen to meet a group of dancing goblins +1 disgruntled goblin, maybe we send them to the farm.
yeah.
Speaking of the farm, as you pass by it,
Giant badger out there.
oh yeah, Osco. Let's see, Allura, Gamwich. What are their names? The two
the sons.
yeah, the two sons' names is
Oh,
Fuel.
Ned and Squints.
Ned and Squints. Where is that at? Here it is, Ned and Squints. There it is. Gosh. My writing. Ned and Squints approach you, and Ned is like, "Have you thought about our offer?" They have sticks.
Oh, for the mule.
No, we want to join you. Kill that
To
dragon.
join us? Well, I mean, do we want them to come? I think we definitely want their help when we're ready to fight that dragon. But do we need them right now, or should they keep training for dragon fighting?
Let's bring him with us to the barrow.
Yeah, game mechanics terms a couple of halfling retainers isn't too
Yeah,
bad.
somebody to carry their stuff.
I will bring up 2 halfling retainers, and they turn toward Ben. They're like, "All right, anything you say, boss." They think Ben's in charge.
That's fine with me. You're in good hands, boy.
That's right. We'll learn you how to beat a dragon, but for now, carry this stuff.
Nice. Let's see.
Yeah, if they do they show up with backpacks?
Oh yeah, they've got
Okay.
backpacks. Let's see.
They're good to go.
They're
All right.
starting at level 0, but they can level up. And let's see here. I need maybe something like that. Chance for a normal human, 0%. I think this is fine for now anyways. They are level 0 halflings.
All right.
Okay.
Well, before we go, shall we?
Of note, they demand they say a half share of anything you find. Meaning, like, whatever share, for example, Bashaw gets, each of them would get at least half of that. They figure that's fair because they're about half your size.
So, the two of them together would represent a fourth party member, basically.
Basically, yeah, for shares worth of treasure, yeah. And XP.
Seems fair.
Yep. We'll have to. There's a bit of concession for them. We'll have to give them silver and copper pieces, because when we find gold, we can't send them home with that.
Right.
Then you hear a little voice like running up the street, and you hear, wait, and then you see a halfling like tripping over himself, running, and his hat falling off, and him grabbing it and trying to get his backpack on and waddling towards you as fast as he can, and there is Knob Boulder Hill.
Sweet knob.
And he says, it's time that somebody around this town we help fix things. Hey, Ned and Squints. Ned's like, hey, Knob.
Don't really want to dissuade anybody, but y'all did hear what happened to Dirk, right? Just make sure we're up front and you're up for it.
That's exactly why I want to go.
I
Well,
have to respect that, right? I mean,
No,
we'll put
absolutely.
it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Fine hobbit.
All right, on to an adventure then. He's just got a stick.
You all are showing some real spark. I hope you don't end up regretting it.
They all three just have sticks. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
How about those nice iron daggers?
Anyone give him a dagger?
I have a regular dagger. I'm going to keep my cold iron dagger.
Yeah, that's fair.
Shaw's gonna give.
I'm gonna do the same because I actually have the same. That's the same. I also have a dagger and a iron dagger. Wait, did I take one? Did we each take one?
I know. I thought.
Or did they all go to you?
I thought we separated them out and we each got, because we got, what was it? The three of us, or was it everybody that got a cold iron dagger? But I know I have one, and I thought there was at least, we bought 3.
We bought all 3. He had 3 for
Yeah.
sale, and we bought all of them.
So I only kept one as far as my notes go. So if you had the other one, that would be fine by me.
So how many daggers do they have that you give them?
Well,
I think I think we've agreed that they're getting at least 2 normal daggers.
Okay, so one has a stick and 2 of them have daggers and sticks.
Who's the strongest looking one out of all of them?
Oh, that'd be Squints for sure.
All right, I give Squints a shield and a short sword.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The Shaw is just not meant for
Okay.
physical combat. He's got to be far away or he's a dead man.
All right, a shield and short sword. Got it. Short sword.
So yeah, I imagine Squints was feeling left out, not getting a dagger. It's like, oh, for you.
Squints holds the sword and he's like, "Old sword. Wow. All right. I know this ain't a very hobbitish thing to do, but But just like Knob says, we got to do what we got to do. So let's get it done then.
Onwards.
I'm kind of scared. And then, all right, you can move the token. You've got the woods and the direction of the river. Okay, so you go into the woods, and you find the tracks where you had dragged the cart through the soft earth, and you notice the weather outside. The wind has calmed, the temperature has increased, and in the fall you can hear insects in the air. There are clouds forming overhead and beginning to tower up. Yeah, where do you go now?
Head north up the river to find that barrow.
All
Or
right.
were we hunting?
Yeah.
bears? We were heading to the
No, barrow.
All right.
From where you currently are, you in fact do see a huge tree that's been felled across the river to form a sort of bridge across the river as a ford. It looks sturdy and reliable. There's a clearing on the opposite side that goes on from some ways. And then off in the distance, you can kind of see where there's a hillside that goes up. And then otherwise, the foot of the hillside is all forested on the opposite side of the river. On the near side of the river, the bank continues into it's heavily forested and mossy here. This is where you encountered the river troll.
Knob, you're the historian and not expert of the area, right? Is this the way to the barrow?
He's got his dagger out the whole time, like dodging around, looking. And he's like, "Well, it should be here on the near side of the river, continuing north somewhere."
Let's continue then.
Okay.
Shaw's got his bow ready.
This is no longer here. If that player before that is no longer there.
Okay.
Instead, you see a rocky hillside that's barren with a smoky ruin of stones in the place where you once saw a mansion. And on either side, the hillside is fairly barren, and the forest becomes more sparse along the riverfront.
As we're passing the mansion, Bashaw looks at the party, looks at the mansion, kind of shrugs.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
All of a sudden, ahead of you, in the forest, there's pops, pop, 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 and and you hear this little tinny noises, and then you can see bright colors further about 60 feet off into the forest ahead of you.
Bashaw frowns.
Oh,
My notes are
I'm gonna-
terrible.
I'm gonna wait to see what develops here.
You're just gonna stay there and watch.
Yep.
Okay. Eventually, you can make out that they're little tinny voices, and they're screaming in fury, but like little tiny tinny voices. And it seems that there are little tiny creatures in the air that are fighting one another.
Oh, they're welcome to it. Let's move on.
You're gonna
I
try
understand this reference.
to, in order to evade them, without going through their battle, you're going to have to go around. So you would either have to like go out into this clearing, or you would have to ford the river to avoid
Clearing.
Okay.
This
All
must
right.
be that fairy war we accidentally started.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right, and you can keep making progress. You can go that way if you want.
Okay,
so
that's what I. Yep.
in the clearing. You can see that the forest becomes dense again, and ahead of you is a large and old, hoary forest of moss, and it's humid and hot. The sun beats down on you in the day. It's currently a high afternoon, and the trees promise both warmth and also air suffocating humidity underneath the trees. Okay. You dogleg back towards the riverbank, where the air is a little bit cooler, although the river has started to dry up in the past week, or at least it's not as strong as when you first came here a week ago. Yeah, that's all you see from here. Actually, what you can also see that on the opposite side, there's a hillside, a rocky hillside leading up. That's what you can see from there.
Okay.
Okay. Oh dear.
Oh, good.
That's not good.
Yay. Evade.
Let's see here. Okay, the first thing is, Michelle, you can roll a d6.
4.
Very interesting. Fascinating. Okay, and then Edward, you can roll a d6. Actually, you don't have to roll a d6. Okay. All right. Here is what happens. You see something moving, and ahead of you, off 200 yards in the distance, you can see trees actually being felled. And it's moving fast on the other side of a ruined bridge. This is actually just a stream, a little tributary here. Trees are being felled as this huge thing moves through. It doesn't see you, and you're on the opposite side of the stream. I'm going to give you a couple hobbits here, too. 3 hobbits.
Definitely hide.
Yep.
Evade.
We are not ready for this.
It needs to wait a few more sessions before.
Let's see. Let me give you 3 hobbits. Okay. All right. So you all have kind of been walking along this bank, hiding. I'm going to leave it down to a single roll, instead of having the dragon roll. You don't want the dragon roll. Promise. So, you can pick who wants to try to make the plan to like scatter and hide.
Shaw has a. Sorry, go ahead.
That person will roll a dexterity roll.
Okay. Bashaw's got a 3 out of 6 to stay hidden. Would I be able to apply that to the rest of the?
Is it 3 in 6 to remain hidden?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So to remain unseen, I think it's like a ranger. Well, it's a ranger trait.
Yeah. So I'll say you can in your wisdom kind of tell everybody, hey, get down over there, come here, and everything, and then duck behind the nearby stones. You can make a dexterity check and roll a d6.
Right. Here comes the dex check. Nervous. Yay, okay.
Okay.
Succeeded at that. And then here comes... Oh, okay, I got a 5 on that one, though.
Okay. So, the dragon moving off and kind of off this way, thankfully, you miss it. and but you have seen this thing, and it is without a doubt some kind of giant reptilian creature. If not a dragon, then some other thing like it. At least some 40 feet long, 40 yards long, 40 feet, 40, like, you know, a good length of a football field. It's huge.
Oh my goodness. Ah. Well, that was bracing.
I appreciate your restraint, Ned and Squints, that you didn't charge after the dragon this time. That last time, it didn't work out so well, and it was much smaller than this.
I was really worried they were going to do that.
I know. I
Ned
was
is
like, I
shaking,
didn't wanna
and
say-
he's like, "Are you kidding me, mister? I almost sold my bretches." He can't even speak.
And if you
Like,
did, it would be totally understandable.
oh, that's good, because I did actually.
Okay, well, reminds me of my old life, but
My dog is busting a gut up there, so I gotta go let her out. Please forgive me.
No problem. Which way do you guys want? You want to keep going? Where do you want to go?
Yeah, my intention is to keep going to hug the river and keep going north.
All right, hug the
For
river.
sure.
Okay. Oh, I guess. Let's see here. There we go. All right. There's a bend in a river here. Let's see. Hugging the river. Bring you right there. In this case, we're along the river now. So you hug the river, and it's now evening time. You realize that by the time you make it back to Brandonsford, there's a good chance that it could be quite dark. You can see a clearing up ahead here. You can see mountains starting to jut up ahead of you that were far off a ways ago, but now you're getting close to some rocky foothills, rocky mountains, probably 1,500 feet tall, that are just the leading edge of something much larger. And then there's hills that are kind of like wooded hills on the other side of the river stream as well. And then on the near side, you see a clearing, and what's clearly a mound of earth that's jutting up out of the clearing.
We found it.
looks like that's our destination, boys.
You want to go toward it?
Alright. Yeah,
Do we-
head towards it. And
it's-
while we're going, Bashaw's gonna keep an eye out for like a good campsite, defendable spot where we can be hidden out of the way. Keep safe while we're.
As you get closer, something happens again.
Sorry, Rat, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that was my thought exactly.
Perfect.
It's like, you're better at that sort of thing than me, so yes.
Bashaw, you can roll a d6.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, 2. That was so close.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Woo.
Oh, geez. Oh, this is good news. I actually have to roll. It's good news. Okay. Let's see. 7. Okay. So that would make it. Okay, that's quite good news. You can see trees getting knocked over on the other side of a stream nearby as you cross into the clearing in the opening. Now, this distance is not quite accurate, I don't think. Let me check here. Actually, that is actually pretty accurate. This time, it sees you, and it's coming directly for you.
Into the mound.
Into the mound.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sure. You run into the mound. Actually, let me check its movement speed just to see Oh, that sucks. Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Evade, evade, evade. OSR.
Wait. Hold on just a second.
As silly as that quote is, that has actually completely changed my mindset, or at least let that sink in to the old school kind of setting.
I have to get way smaller. Hold on. Okay. You just run and just book it, and you tell the little hobbits like, run now, and just running as fast as you can. This thing is fast, knocking trees out of the way as it goes. You can see the trees left in its wake have like this like oily smoking appearance, as some kind of burning tar like acid has covered the trees. Let's see. Set this up. Whoops, nope.
I've returned. We got to the barrow. Oh god, what's that?
Yeah.
Good
Just in
news,
time.
bad news.
There's the barrel. Let's make camp. There's the dragon. Run for the barrow. We are currently booking it for our lives.
Okay.
While the dragon is coming for us.
Okay, I'll have to kind of flip back and forth, unfortunately. And I just have to put you all in here. It's weird. It says Chris. This thing doesn't know what it wants to do. It's dark here in this entrance. There's a white stone slab. You're confident that that giant beast couldn't make it in here. That much is good news. The walls of the stone are bleached, and there's a faded mural on the surface of a conquering knight, and a door with it looks like scrapes and digging around the dirt below the door. But the door is otherwise closed, leading into the barrow.
Well, in we go.
All right. You slide open the door. It's dark inside. What do you...
A torch.
You use a torch, okay.
And draw my sword.
The entrance is very narrow. And I'm trying to set your tokens up. Let's see... Edward. Who goes first? What's the marching order?
I think I better go first.
Okay.
The Shaw will either go middle or back with the bow at the ready.
And Ben wants to be close enough to the torch that he can, but he can also duck out and hide if he could. I guess who's going to carry the torch?
I've got the torch.
Okay.
I don't carry a shield, so I am not proficient with it.
3 little hobbits in the back, and here you are. Very narrow entrance as you go in. Can you all see?
Yeah, I can see.
Yep.
Okay, I'll kind of describe what you see here. you can see as you go in that there are, as I said, there's this surface mural on the floor in the entrance of a conquering knight on horseback. And it looks like someone has tried to open the door recently. And on the inside here in this room is an antechamber with a corridor going either way. And there are wall mosaics that clearly depict the story, presumably of Sir Brandon and the dragon, divided into 3 panels on the walls: the north wall, east, and west wall. You can hear clattering and hushed voices coming from the east. And, yeah.
I will approach slowly the eastern passage there.
Okay. You should be able to move your token. I'll move the hobbits. Can everybody else move their token?
Yep.
As you approach the east, the voices become clear. As you can see that there are 2 little creatures in here, similar to the ones that you've seen before. And they look angry and small and feral and inhuman, tired and disheveled, cautiously poking around in the alcoves on the other side as you enter. They are terrified as they see these big people approach them, and they fall to their knees in supplication. One of them speaking common. Please, please don't hurt us, please, please.
Tell us everything you know about this place.
Yes, of course. We are here for the Goblin King. He is glorious, the Goblin King. And we are going to make a new grand castle for the Goblin King. You could help us. He could pay you. He is rich.
Go on about this place.
This big person crypt. Scary things down below. Need help? You help? Help us. Help Goblin King. The Goblin King, he is rich, and he will make you rich.
So, you want us to accompany you down below?
Yes.
To get the good stuff, huh?
Yes.
Okay, you got a deal.
Good. And they slink in the dark, and it turns out there's a third one.
Okay. You all stay right in front of me, and don't try anything funny. You understand?
Yes, of course. And
Hey, Bashar, you wanna keep
Bashar
it.
nods.
Yeah. All right. So what have you found so far?
Let's see. I'll describe what else you see in here. You can see that there are alcoves all along the walls here, and most of them contain piles of bones and rusted blades. Some have other items.
I think we better search the room then.
They're like, yes, of course. And then the one over here, he like goes near this one. He's like, but nah, we've already checked this one. You don't need to check that one.
Well, why don't you tell me what you found when you checked it?
Nothing here. Nothing here.
All 3 of you empty your pockets, like completely, of everything that you're carrying.
Okay. And they empty their pockets, and there's like gross things like fingernails, probably dwarven fingernails, and bugs and muck. They don't have any.
I mean, is any of them obviously carrying anything extra on him, or?
It looks like they haven't been very successful so far.
Okay. All right. Well, so yeah, you keep searching over there. I'm gonna keep an eye on them, close eye.
Yeah, I definitely want to check out where he's telling us not to check.
He's like, please, no, you don't want to check this. We check this. It's bad. Bad.
What's so bad about it? Just
It's
curious.
real scary thing. Scary thing. Moved the rock.
I want to check that area for traps.
You're gonna go check that area. So that's 10 minutes. Let me check the distance as well here.
Yeah, just anything. I mean,
Okay. And
you stay over there. And
I'm gonna. You all keep searching. Let me see you search.
where do you want them? Where do you point toward? You said you want them to search something. Okay. All right. They'll go search those alcoves.
I'm gonna be breathing down their necks.
Okay. Okay. And then Ben, you're doing a check for traps. Check here for one round. Bashaw, what are you doing?
Bashaw's keeping a watch on these guys, but also back here. He's on lookout.
The hobbits seem to be following Ben around. All right, so you're on lookout as far as to prevent surprise. Okay, so Ben, you can go ahead and roll your d6. Wait, no, I roll a d6. Sorry, thank you.
right.
You check that area. It looks normal to you. There is one of the things that he mentioned is that the rock. There's something scary about the rock, and there's these huge flagstones, and this flagstone is catty-cornered, like it's been moved. And he says there's something scary. And then up in that alcove, when you check for that, you find one of the goblins pulls out from a skeleton a incredibly opulent, ornamental, jewel-encrusted dagger. Yeah, and you find that one of the goblins pulls that out. It's worth at least 200 gold pieces.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
You take it?
Yeah.
He makes sad goblin noises.
Don't worry. The Goblin King is going to get everything that's coming to him.
All right. What now? Oh yeah, and then let's see here.
Hey, Knob, and why don't you put some of those historian skills to good use and see what you can find?
You know what? Bashaw's gonna have to have a torch ready too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Bashaw's gonna ready a torch because I'm not gonna be able to keep a watch if.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, not really. Yeah.
However, I do need to check something.
Well, you can see my torch, which is illuminating your targets.
Yeah, that I've got covered. I'm just worried about back here.
Other potential targets.
And in fact, you can see into that room over there. That room, you can see statues over in this room on opposite sides of the room. Yeah. Okay. What else? What else do you all want to do?
Well, there's two other corners to search, are there not?
Oh yeah, there are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 alcoves, and then the alcove they warned you not to search.
Don't we have to do it all? I mean, we're here to find something. We have to search everything. I'm gonna hand that dagger to one of the hobbits for carrying.
Okay.
I've got for when we find some other stuff. I've got 3 open inventory slots.
Oh, I forgot to mention, so you also gave them the trade goods, right? So they paid you. The trade goods are worth 2,000 silver pieces. 2,000 silver pieces.
Wow. That was under the impression we were giving it to them. I guess they
Oh, I mean, you can give it to them. What I'll do is basically I'll say that will be +2 reputation. So you'll get +3 reputation instead of +2 if you give it to them. Otherwise,
I don't want to make the decision for everybody. So what do you all think?
That's what I assumed we were giving it
Yeah.
to them, and that the reward was the sweet
Reputation.
chainmail.
Yeah.
Chainmail. I mean, the reputation seems well worth it to me. It'd be nice to,
Yeah.
have all the hobbits love us.
For sure.
goodness,
We're
these
causing them
racers.
enough problems.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like ultimately because they love us, a bunch of them might get killed, but that might end up being what has to happen. So
It's bound to happen anyway, right?
yeah, kind of.
Having
Right.
this
Dragon.
conversation out loud in the dungeon.
The hobbits are like, are we the bad guys?
No.
So yeah. So what about searching these other alcoves then?
Yeah, in the scary place, there was like something had been moved. Looked like.
So let's see. I will tell you. Yeah, it does look like one of the large, heavy flagstones has been moved. He tells you that there's something scary there. The other alcoves, you can see that there's something. The walls all across here have all been like scuffed up and scratched. There's been something that's happened to these walls on the east side. Otherwise, you can try to search the room. Each of you can try to do it. It takes 10 minutes or 1 round. And you're currently 20 minutes into dungeon time.
What's that roll?
To search it, it'd be a d6.
Okay, I rolled a 6.
All right, so... Oh, and I forgot. I'm supposed to do it. Keep forgetting to do it.
Oh, dang.
That's fine. I mean, it's my fault. But just let me know. And okay, so that was... And in fact, so since he's spending the 10 minutes, do you want to do another search check of the area? You can also investigate things that I tell you. You know, like if you want to look at things and try to use your items or try to, whatever, you have to use the time if you can find out another way to do it.
So what? I was like, so what's so scary about this again? As I'm poking with my 10-foot pole.
I should note also, if you check the alcoves without doing a full search, you also find a thing of folded chainmail shirt that's still useful for a human, and a mace.
Well, I'll hand it to the hobbits.
The goblin that speaks common comes over as you're poking it with a 10-foot pole. Okay, so one of the... Oh yeah, they could wear chainmail. It's going to be the one... It's going to be the big one. He's going to wear the chainmail. That makes sense to me.
Good.
And then a mace. Okay, the other ones. All right. Now you've got a real tanky, chonky hobbit here.
we kind of... It's a hard target all of a sudden.
Yeah. All right, and then... Yeah, the goblin's like, please, no, dangerous, no, please. And that's the best he can muster as you poke it with your 10-foot pole. What you notice about the flagstone is that you move the flagstone slightly around. It looks like you could try to move the large, heavy flagstone. It looks like they probably had moved it there.
Okay.
If it's goblin treasure, as long as it's not the sword we're looking for, maybe if we just kind of be like, oh yeah, no, we didn't see anything there, maybe they'll be trust us a little more.
Sorry, I crashed literally as you said. I poked it with the stick, and that was the last I heard. And my computer picked that moment to crash on me.
That's because it was a total party kill, and even
yeah, we're all dead now.
Yeah.
Of note, so this whole area here, okay, so you're poking with a 10-foot pole, the goblin's saying, don't do it, it's dangerous. You're able to actually move the flagstone. It looks like they had moved it and put that flagstone, moved it out of the way and put it back in its place. And it looks like there's something under it. This wall here, I mentioned, I left out a detail. So this whole wall back here has like scuff marks, and then there's a big, there is a a 5-foot seam in the stone, like a gouge in the stone on that wall. And without doing further checks, that is all that you see, unless you want to try to do something else. And you're now 40 minutes into the dungeon. Nothing seems to happen. What do you want to do?
There's yeah, I think if there's some cool goblin treasure down there, if we let them have it, they'll like us more and kind of be more trusting.
I'm not the one with the 10-foot pole, Ben. What do you think?
Sorry, I was still reconnecting. So, where was that? We think we should leave the goblins have their loot, or
Well,
if I'm thinking, like, say you open it up and there's a bunch of goblin treasure in there. If you're like, yep, didn't see anything, big wink towards the goblins, maybe they'll be like, okay, no, these guys aren't too bad.
yeah, I mean, I don't exactly trust these goblins, so I'm like, I'm sure there's not. This just looks terrifying as I open it up.
You open it up?
Yep.
All right, you crack open the flagstone, and you see that there's a dark, that's just dark down below, until suddenly something shifts in the dark, and then erupts out of it.
See, they got to be less shady and just be up front on this stuff.
He was like, "Scary, scary, please don't." And
okay, I was misunderstanding.
This tentacle-like appendage, like gooey stuff, just comes up out of it. You are not surprised. Let's see if it is. It is also not surprised, and it is inherently evil and hateful in every way, and wants only to devour you. And so, you can roll for initiative. So that will be Ben. Ben, you can roll a d6 for initiative.
All right. Sorry, I'm still trying to get my computer back to working.
Oh well. In that case, Bashar, roll a d6.
He just rolled it, I think. Right?
That was me.
Or was it? Oh.
Yeah, I haven't rolled. I'm still trying to get back into Foundry. I've gotten stuff.
Okay, roll again.
We've got a.
All right, you are able to act first. What's the plan? It's obvious to you that the goblins are terrified and they're about to just bolt out and leave. Like it's obvious that they're about to do.
Do you think we can move it back?
Yeah, so that's the plan. Like I misunderstood the goblins. I thought they were being like, "Oh, it's scary, wink, wink, don't do that." And they were sincere. My bad. Not good at sincere goblins.
All right,
close it back.
I'm gonna see if it can keep you from closing it back in two ways. The first one is going to be you're going to have to try to force this down with the hobbits and the goblin. They're the only ones nearby on your turn that could help. So you can roll a strength check, and you can do it at a -1, because these things are small. That is to say, you'll roll and then subtract 1 from your result. And I'm going to roll for the ooze, who looks like failed. Let's see what you all got. If you got a nat 20, then we'll do something after that. Nice. Okay, so you're able to get the stone back onto it. I'm going to see if it can try to get the stone off of it. It's not. Okay, so you're able to force the stone back onto this thing, and then try to jam it back in with your stick, and then the hobbits are jumping up and down on it and getting the stone back in place as the stone kind of shifts and then falls back in. And then the goblin was like, "It's scary."
Yes.
Yes, we'll work on your vocabulary for more beyond, but okay. Fair point. That was terrifying. You're right.
All right. And that brings us to 50 minutes in the dungeon. And yeah, So what do you want to do next? And I forgot to mention probably the most obvious thing in here is that there are stairs going down over here.
Yes. So was I the only one who searched during that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But Ben Bashaw was on the lookout, so I made it to where you couldn't be surprised.
Well,
which
I'm
was good.
gonna get these goblins to search some more.
Okay.
Yep. I was busy nearly getting us all killed. So.
And Knob, what's Knob doing? Knob, hey, get to work, buddy.
Yes, sir. Of course. Right away. All right. So you can Ben, you can roll a d6, and you can increase your range by 1, and the same thing with Edward, because you got a bunch of people helping you. That would bring you to an hour. So you got to.
What does that mean?
That means you need to roll a 1 through 3 on a d6.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 4.
Yeah, I rolled a 5 apparently, and I'm rolling as Brian.
All right, so that brings us to an hour of dungeon time, and your torch goes out.
Okay.
And also, I roll that. That's good.
I'm gonna light another one.
All right.
Bashaw's probably got another couple of rounds of his.
Okay.
All right, let's go check out the statue room.
All right. I'll move the hobbits and the goblins.
So I'm guessing Knob didn't find anything either.
I just had.
Or the goblin.
I had you all
they were.
increase your
They were
range,
adding a bonus. Okay.
Okay. When you enter into the this room with the statues, you can see that they're 8 foot tall, one in each of the 4 corners of what is a square room. There's a statue of a knight with a different word etched onto each of its bases in a very old version of your own language. And you hear the sound of dripping water ahead.
Could this be? Was it Dirk said something about the Saints Mirrodin, Wilt, Alfred, and Moira? I had that in my notes. Did I crash again?
No.
No, you're there.
I'm afraid I crashed. Something looked like it was locking up on my computer. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I wasn't there for whatever Dirk said. I don't. So what did he say? What did you have?
I'm trying to remember. I have some notes. There was something about some companions of Brandon or something like that.
Holy sword, I got it written down.
Saint Mirrodin was quick-tempered. Wilt was contemplative. Alfred was.
I can also describe. So, a couple of things about the statues in here. There's some word in an antique kind of calligraphy or whatever, an etching at the bottom of it engraved into the base, and then the knights, one of them is rigidly gripping a sword and shield, another one has a staff cradled in an arm, hands clasped together in prayer, another reads an open book, and another is bent over carrying a heavy load.
Yeah, so we got Sir Mirrodin, Wilt, Alfred, Brandon.
Okay, and what about the chamber beyond?
In the chamber beyond, you see some stuff. Oh, as you get closer, first of all, as you get close to this statue, you can see that it's rigidly gripping a sword and shield, and at the base of it, the word reads Valor. And in the other room ahead, you can see that there are stone pews that have disintegrated. And at the head of the room, you can see in the flickering of your torchlight around the corner, in your beams of light an old moldy statue. Wow. And dripping water from the ceiling around it. As you get closer and your light beams onto the statue, you can see that this is none other than the one true king himself. I'm sorry, this is the wrong setting. But I'll say it, actually. It's Saint Arthur. Bearded man with a spear. I got my two settings mixed up. And there's a patch of mold that has grown over the statue's face.
So, how do I know it's Arthur?
Yeah, you would actually. I don't think you would have ever heard of this person, but someone would have. You're going in there, and Ben is right there. So as the hobbits approach, Nob Boulder Hill sees it, and he's like, "That is Saint Arthur. Why, he's one of the people that was he was liked a lot by you big people."
So is this some sort of a church that we're in?
Judging from the rows of seats, I know big people do that. It's all facing the same direction. I would say this is some kind of church. But I don't know about that. That's big people stuff. We don't have churches where I'm from.
Hey! Gobos!
Rawr. Yes! Shot back, sorry.
Get up here.
The one speaking common like lobs forward and is like, yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Good. Hey, let's search this room, shall we?
All right, that would be Bashaw, your torch goes out.
Okay. Well, where's that? And light another.
And all right. And they search the room and they find they come back. Actually, I'm going to see. They start searching around the statue and stuff, and something like comes off the statue as they start to scrape around it and they flee from it. And one of them's coughing is like, "Stuff on statue, bad. Don't touch."
Oh.
Not find
Thank
anything
you.
else.
Well, let's move on. Shall we go down the stairs, gentlemen, or shall we search the statue room?
So the statue, the Valor and whatever, that sounds like Brandon. You said it had a sword and shield. They were statue sword and shield, not like real sword, right?
Yeah, statue sword and shield.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's 8 feet tall. You're not sure. It's a statue of a knight in plated armor, rigidly gripping a sword and shield, and at the base of it, it reads Valor. This one right here.
Okay.
Well, what can Nob tell us about this?
He starts looking around at them. That's going to take 10 minutes. So see if he finds anything.
From my notes, there was something with the Dirk said Sir Brandon represented valor and piety and something in duty, maybe?
So Nob takes 10 minutes. He goes around. He comes to this one. He says, "Let's see." And it's got a staff cradle in the arm, hands clasped in prayer. And he's like, "It says piety in the big people tongue." He goes to this one. This one is reading from an open book. He says, "Wisdom." And he looks at this one. It's bent over, carrying a heavy load. And he says, "Duty." And then they search around it, and they don't find anything else.
That's what the word I couldn't figure out from my notes was wisdom. Okay, so there's something with Brandon. It was valor, piety, wisdom, and duty. Okay. I don't know why I had that.
Edward, the goblins are yours right now. So basically, they're your followers.
Okay. I'm gonna send him down the stairs right in front of me.
Okay. The one in common's like, we don't want to go alone. We don't have big shields, swords, weapons, big people.
I'm right behind you guys.
What's your charisma modifier?
+1.
Okay. The one that speaks common nudges one of them ahead and goes behind the other two. The brains of the operation. I'm going to get all of you together so that I can kind of move you together. And I'm going to move these closer back. Like this. You see a long hallway. Actually, let me see what happens to the goblins too. Good. The goblins go down. And eventually, they signal that it's safe to continue. As you go down, you see a long hallway ahead of you, and then a pathway off to the left. Your torchlight flickering off into a room that seems to be to the left. You can see the goblins, and they're actually, this is going to cause a morale check. Which they utterly fail, and 2 of them immediately just flee. You can attempt to try to grab one of them, the one that speaks common, as it runs past. If you want to grab it by the collar.
Yep.
But he's going to be pretty useless. You can make a dexterity check to grab him. I'm going to oppose it. Whoever gets the best wins.
15.
15. All right, you're able to grab the goblin. It's a screaming. You're also making noise now. And I'll tell you why. Because in your torchlight, you can see the bodies of 3 goblins lying and torn into bloody pieces, laying at the bottom of the stairs. The walls and ceiling of the hall drip with condensation and an icy mist as the temperature is dropped low below freezing. There's a cold, wet air and a grave chill. The air here sticks to the skin like a cold sweat. It looks like, as you look at the goblins that they're facing towards you, what remains of them seems to have been running from something. Mist is seeping in through the cracks, obscuring torchlight ahead. It falls in slow, gaseous streams, like as if you're in a freezer. And you can see on the walls there are carvings of animals that pursued by hunters running through the forest, stylized in swirl-like patterns. It's one continuous scene that runs all the way down the corridor. And you hear scratching and skittering coming from down the hall as it echoes.
I shake him firmly. And I say, "Come, let's avenge your fallen brethren."
He's like, okay. He's a wreck, but he eventually stops screaming at least.
For the Goblin King, I'll whisper to him.
He's like,
Keep quiet.
for the Goblin King.
Yes. Just think of the stories you'll be able to bring home. You'll be the hero of the age.
All right, what do we do?
All right. Well, yeah. So what's in here now?
When you step ahead and your torchlight illuminates into this hall to the side into an open room, you can see a circular pool of water that's been built into the floor. There are globs of green slime floating on the surface of the water like algae, and you can see a glint of gold that you can see down at the bottom of the pool, as it's clear that there are valuables down in.
What's the big star? Is there like a statue there or something?
That's the pool that I described.
Right. I just figured, okay.
It's noting a point of interest, I suppose.
What about all these dots around it?
Yeah. Those are guttered out long cold candles that are in a circle around the pool. You can see also here. I apologize. I think nope. Yeah, that's right. And then let's see. You can see here on the other side a room with a statue, a 3-foot statue placed on a dais on the wall with offering bowls placed at its feet. 10-foot wide ring of small stones encircling the statue. And you can tell that there's also scratches along the south wall here. And you are now on your second hour in dungeon time. And Edward, your torch goes out.
I'm going to light the candles in this room.
All right, I'm going to say that takes some time. It is freezing. And there's this icy vapor that's just floating around. They've got moisture and everything. But you're able to do it. It takes a round. Since he's taking a round to add lighting to the room, is there anything that anybody else wants to do in that 10 minutes?
Let's see. So the hallway to the north, you said, I don't know that I want to go all the way down the hall and leave everybody, but can I get any semblance? You said it was telling a story of like a hunt with animals.
Yeah, it's in these stylized, curving lines that kind of depict humans as stylized figures in a hunt. And it goes all the way down the corridor. Animals pursued by hunters running through the forest in stylized swirl patterns, a continuous scene of contiguous lines running all the way down the length of the corridor.
Okay. I guess in the 10 minutes, does the corridor end, or is it going as far as I can see by the light?
As far as you can see with your light, the corridor does not end. It looks like it's very long. It goes off into the darkness.
Yeah. I don't have one of the torches, so I'll just kind of invest what as far as I can see down there.
And at that point, Bashaw, your next torch goes out.
Right.
And I forgot to mention that you all also need to stop and rest. You were supposed to do that at the top of the previous 2 hours. So that will be another round of resting as you slowly explore these tight, claustrophobic, old, musty spaces in the dark, clambering around over debris and everything. You have to stop and get your breath and get your nerves back, and then get back up to your feet and keep going.
All right. Let's go ahead, search this room and
So there are no murals on these walls in here, are there? It's just in the hall above.
Let's see. There are no murals in this room. So you see that there's this pool, 5 foot deep water, globs of stuff floating in the top of the water, and then underneath is clearly like valuables that are shining at the bottom of the water. And there's a room over here with some rocks that surround a dais, which has a small 3 foot tall statue on it. Edward, as you get closer, you can see that the statue is a clay figure of a nude antlered man. His arms held out to the side. And he holds a wand in his left hand and a spear in his right. There are stones that are in a circle around it.
Lore check on that?
Yeah, I think you could. And then there are bowls that are laid at the foot of the statue as well that are full of various valuables that have been here for a very long time.
Okay, I failed the lore check.
Did anyone try to search the room? Are we going to take the round?
Yeah, I wanted to do that for both these rooms.
Yeah, when I was checking the walls for murals, I wanted also just kind of check along the walls for,
you're checking. Which wall are you checking?
Let's see. Check the south east wall. That's
okay. You find a you find that the let's see here. Missing something. Well, either way, the wall here is thin and crumbles, and you begin to see that on the other side of it, there is actually a pathway.
Ooh.
Oh my.
The architecture for the pathway seemed to be, it's not like just a hole or something, or
it looks like it's unimproved, as if this were intentionally secret at some time in the past. Like it was not. It's not some hallway. Like you look into it, it's earth.
Gotcha. Well, found this, guys.
Yeah. When you say valuables in these bowls,
Yeah.
what are we talking about?
You see that because it's just in the open. There's piles of coins and rubies, and an amulet just at the top of your head.
Hey, Knob, come over here and look at this statue.
Okay, I'm on my way.
If you take too many, it summons a Daedra.
Yeah.
He looks at it. He says, "Oh, this is a strange thing to see in a big person, a churchy place. Like we had said, this is something from the other world. This is a fairy thing. I mean, not that this itself is a fairy thing." He's talking out loud because he's excited about talking about this stuff. And he's like, but someone put this here as an interface to the fairy world. Let's see. Yeah, it's clear to you that in the bowls are a bunch of silver pennies, gold pieces, rubies, and a valuable looking amulet. That's what you can see in the bowls.
And I suppose it's bad luck to take this stuff.
You'd say that to Knob?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, to be honest with you. This is big people stuff. Like, look, shouldn't you know this? I don't mean any offense, sir, but you're the ones
I really,
that are the
you know,
chosen of Sir Brandon. I figured you would know what to do with all this.
I really hoped that I would as well. But hey, waste not, want not. I think Sir Brandon would understand, and this is nothing but it's not but a heathen force of evil anyway.
All right, you find as you gather it, and probably in the same period of time as he spent looking and Knob coming over and looking at it and everything, which is another round. You found 45 silver pennies, 20 gold pieces, 5 rubies worth at least 50 gold pieces each, and a golden amulet.
Okay, hold on. Dang.
5 silver pieces, 20 gold pieces.
You're writing it down. Okay,
yeah, 5 rubies and golden amulet.
Who picks up the golden amulet?
Got it.
Yeah. I'm the one who said I'm gathering it, so
right,
I'm
so
happy
you pick up the golden amulet, and you notice as you pick it up that it's clear to you that its charm that is sort of like a heart, is what you see as the charm. It's clear to you that it's almost mesh and it's hollow, and something is lightly clattering inside of it.
Okay, I'll crack that sucker open.
You're able to do that. You're able to peel back the metal. It's because it's gold. It's easy to work, and it's very thin. And you peel it back, and you look inside, and there's a tightly wound parchment with strange symbols on it.
Wow. I'm gonna seal it up again, and we'll look at that later. Yeah. Well, no, I'm gonna look at it now. I'm gonna bring it over to the candlelight and have a look at the parchment.
You could make a lore check.
Lore. Nope.
This parchment is beyond you, but it's
Okay.
clear that it's something really sacred and arcane in nature, like some of the illumination you saw on the sacred text that was kept at the Matham House.
Wow. Okay, well, again, seal it up, and hopefully somebody will find it useful.
And Edward, you didn't light a new torch. You've been using the candlelight.
I've been using the candlelight, yeah.
Yeah. And, okay, so the candles go out, and it's been now the 3rd hour in the dungeon, and that's where we're going to end tonight.